My name is Jay, and welcome to another episode of Parlay with Jay. I have the opportunity to help you with your English comprehension, vocabulary, and your English fluency. And today I have a story that is a C-2 English level. And I want you to use this video to help improve your English conversational skills while reading along with the subtitles that you see on the screen. So, as I'm outside, I have a story today that I want to share with you about happy hunting. Now, happy hunting is a phrase that we use not to describe someone who is hunting for animals, but someone who is in search of something that may be difficult to find. So let's start with today's story. I hope you're ready for a little bit of learning and laughter. Samantha was a sharp, independent woman in her late 20s, but even she knew buying a car in the current economy was like entering a battlefield. Now, of course, a battlefield is where two opposing sides or more that have conflict with one another fight against each other. But when we talk about a battlefield in this sense, it's a struggle to do something. So you might say the job market today feels like a battlefield as I'm looking for better employment. Okay? Now, let's continue. One morning, as she poured coffee into her travel mug, her mother, Deborah, who had a flare of sarcasm, smirked and said, "Happy hunting, sweetheart." So someone that has a flair, okay, they have a trait, a noticeable trait, especially in their attitude. So Deborah had a flare of sarcasm. She was trying to be funny about a particular situation that was taking place. May the budget that you have work out for you. Samantha rolled her eyes but appreciated the humor. She was, after all, attempting to find a cheap car in a market where prices were anything but cheap. Man, I remember when you could find a reliable vehicle for $1,500 to $2,500. Those days are over. With gas prices soaring and interest rates climbing like a cat up a curtain, the idea of finding an affordable vehicle felt nearly mythical. Okay, so when something feels mythical, it's very, very rare. Something that is likely not to happen. The first dealership she visited was filled with shiny cars and aggressive salespeople who treated her like a walking bank loan. Now, a good vocabulary word in this sentence is aggressive. Someone that's very pushy or forceful. The first dealership she went to, one salesman said, "This one's a real gem," gesturing to a 10-year-old sedan priced like it came with gold-plated cup holders. Samantha smiled politely and retreated or backed up, pretending she had to take a very important phone call. Her next stop wasn't much better. A shady-looking lot with balloons, a broken vending machine, and a manager's special sign that looked like it had been there since 2003. She began to question whether she should have taken up biking instead of looking for a new car. So in other words, she was having a hard time finding a car to fit in her budget. After several hours, her patience wore thin, But she finally found a small, slightly dented hatchback with personality and, miracle of miracles, a reasonable financing price. She even negotiated the price down a bit, surprising the dealer and herself. So the car may have been 10,000, but she negotiated the price lower, meaning she got the car for possibly 8,000. When she drove it home, Deborah came outside, coffee in hand, and eyed the car like a skeptical judge at a dog show. Well, she said, it's not awful. Samantha grinned and replied, high praise from you, mother. Later that night, as they laughed about the absurd offers and the salesman who tried to upsell her a trunk vacuum, Deborah finally admitted, honestly, I'm impressed that you survived that circus of salesmen. So, in other words, a circus of people is just a lot of people that are trying to do something to you. So, Samantha was trying to get a new car and she had to deal with a number of salespeople. So, Deborah described it as a circus. It was just crazy. People trying to manipulate and trick her. And so she was very impressed that she found a car that she liked at a good price. Samantha raised her mug and toasted to affordable vehicles and emotional damage. Man, buying a vehicle definitely works on your emotions, and you have to play games sometimes with these salesmen. You know, getting a vehicle in today's atmosphere, man, you gotta have a vehicle, but prices are so high. I was looking for a vehicle, I think last week, and you've got vehicles that are almost 15 to 17 years old, and these places are wanting almost $20,000 for vehicles that are almost 20 years old. It is crazy. Very crazy. Okay, so as I'm looking at the notes, which you can get from the link down in the description, let's go over a few more vocabulary words. We talked about battlefield, mythical, aggressive, retreated. Remember, Samantha retreated when one salesman tried to make a bad deal with her. So to retreat means to move back or to withdraw. And finally, upsell. That was one I wanted to talk about. So when someone tries to upsell you something, they try to get you to spend more money. So you may have been looking for something that was $10, but when you upsell me, you try to sell me something for $18. Okay? So for instance, you may say the waiter tried to upsell me to add a potato with my steak. Upsell. So that's going to do it for today's lesson. We learned about Samantha and her happy hunting looking for an affordable car. I hope you have enjoyed today's quick English lesson. Be sure to check out the links down in the description if you want some of my longer English lessons, as well as if you want the notes from today's story. You can get that as well. As always, if today's lesson has helped you, be sure to share it with a friend, and I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.